Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me for this webinar. Won't take a lot of your time, but wanted to really help you learn 4 steps to help you to beat the day-to-day blues. And I really hope that you have your notebook and your pen ready, pencil, because the things that we're going to talk about today really are steps and tools that you can begin to use immediately and really get all that you need out of today's session. So what I'll do is I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself, and then we will start talking about those 4 steps. Now, we do have live question and answer, and if you look on the side or the bottom of your screen, you'll see a question box. So you can start typing in your questions and your comments as we go along, and more than likely what we'll do is at the end, we'll go over those questions and comments. This is being recorded, so you can definitely take a look at everything that we are covering later on at your leisure, looking at it over and over again, utilizing these tools to really get out of those blues, those day-to-day blues that nobody really wants to have. So just to tell you a little bit about me, my name is Erica Reed, and I have actually always known that I wanted to be a helper. I've always known I wanted to help people. So I went to undergraduate school at Towson and obtained my degree in psychology and sociology, and then went to University of Maryland at Baltimore and obtained my degree and a master's in social work. So from that point forward, really just working in different areas of the helping profession, working with different populations. I've been on the administrative side, but all my career I've been doing clinical. I have a private practice in Lanham, where I work with clients individually, families, groups, primarily working with adults. And my area of focus is women and empowering women to really have the life that they deserve and should be living, living that life of purpose, feeling pleasure in that day to day, and not letting the day-to-day blues get them down. So that brings us to right now to this webinar that you've tuned in for to learn those 4 steps. And what we'll do is I will share my screen so that you can see the PowerPoint. There may be some delay as we go back and forth, but please bear with me and everything should catch up soon. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. So unfortunately, that is at the very end. Let's go back to the beginning. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we are looking at here is hopefully you are going to be seeing the PowerPoint soon. Get this working here. Alrighty. And share. Okay, so what you are taking a look at is just the cover. Hopefully you are seeing that the first page of the PowerPoint is learn 4 steps to beat the day-to-day blues. And I'm sure if I asked you to go through a whole list of things that are making you blue, a lot of them will be related to stress. A lot of the life stuff that we go through on a day-to-day basis, trying to get everything done becomes very overwhelming, becomes very stressful. And that creates those blues that we are speaking of. Now, I don't want you to go through a whole list of stress because that's not going to do anything but stress you out. But what we can do is just lump a lot of the things that women tend to experience together under something that I like to call the Superwoman syndrome. So let me ask you 5 questions. And you can nod your head yes if you are answering yes to any of them because no one's looking at you. But number 1, do you feel the need to do it all? Number 2, do you have a hard time saying no? Number 3, do you often feel stressed and unhappy? Number 4, oftentimes do you have feelings of being overwhelmed? And number 5, do you often feel awful and dissatisfied if you make a mistake? Do you beat yourself up a lot? If you answered yes to most, if not all of those questions, you probably have Superwoman syndrome. And really, what we're going to do today is talking about 4 steps that you can begin to use immediately to help rip the cape off of you, because we are not superwomen. We are human, and we have needs, and we need to figure out ways to get those needs met while still doing all the other responsibilities that we have going on in life. So today, with these 4 steps, we're going to help you to have improved balance in your life. We're going to help you to feel better with a better mood, better outlook, less anxiety. We are going to help you to obtain a sense of satisfaction at the end of the day, ending each day feeling better and feeling good about the things that happened. And finally, we're going to help you to learn to focus on future goals. So with that being said, I've broken down your 4 steps using the word push. Now, I don't know about you. Although I sometimes like to think I'm Superwoman, I cannot fly. And I don't know any other people that can fly. But what we can do is put our feet firmly on the ground and push against all those things that are keeping us from being happy, pushing against all of those things that are weighing us down. So those are the 4 letters that we're going to use as we go over the 4 steps to beating those day-to-day blues. P. P is about priorities and expectations. Feeling like you need to do it all, but knowing it's really impossible to get everything accomplished that you want to. When we set unrealistic expectations of ourselves, basically we're setting ourselves up for failure. And that's not a healthy thing. What we are going to do is start with a to-do list. And this is not just your regular old to-do list that, guess what? It's broken down into different sections. And here's where you take out your notebook and your pen, because here's where you're going to start writing. Because I want you to do this along with me as I'm discussing. You get started. And then, of course, when we're finished, you'll keep it going, make it a part of your daily routine. But if you get started now, it'll help you to get it more cemented into your schedule. So on the left side of your page, you see that you have a running to-do list. And that's that list that you just keep adding to it, the things that you have to do. Now, it's up to you how you want to do these lists. Some people love stuff separate from their business stuff. It's up to you. But if you would like to combine it all, just everything is on this running to-do list. Every time you think of something you need to do, whether you need to go to the store and pick up the Valentine's Day treats for your kids' Valentine's Day party, that assignment that's due in class, or perhaps that project that you need to have turned in by a certain date. All these things go on your running to-do list. But here's where we take the cape off, and we are not trying to fly around like Superwoman. We're standing and saying, you know what? Let's set some realistic expectations. I know I can't get it all done. So what we're going to do is take the top 4 things that absolutely positively have to get done today. And if you look at the right side, the top one says get it done. We're going to put those top 3 or 4 things that have to get done today under get it done. And guess what? You are going to get those things done. It's only 3. And with that being said, you are able to check something off and say, you know what? I feel accomplished. I feel good about what I've done. And then you can move on. The next one under is, wow, I have time for more. That's for those people that have a little bit more time and they're able to pull some more things off of the running to-do list. You itemize maybe 3 more and go from there. Wow, I have time for more allows you to feel a better sense of accomplishment. It allows you to be able to get more things done and check them off your to-do list. And then, of course, maybe not is really going to be those, okay, if I have time, I'll get it done. But if not, I've still gotten a lot accomplished and I can go about my day and end my day feeling productive and positive. So if we go on to you, understanding your responsibilities, this is looking at what is yours and what is not yours. It's about itemizing the things that are ultimately within your level of responsibility, your roles of responsibilities, and what's not. So often we fall into a role or a position that people have placed us in where we're taking care of other people's problems. We're taking care of other people's responsibilities, and it's not really allowing us time to do what we need to do for us. So that's where we are figuring out what's ours, what's not ours. We're setting limits, we're setting boundaries, and essentially we are empowering other people to take care of their stuff. So here's your notebook and your pen again, and flip the page. We're going to get started on the next tool that you can use to help you to set clear boundaries and understand what is your responsibility. So as you see, the center is me, because the center is always me. The center is you. You should always be the center. Your needs come first. And that's not a selfish thing. That is a take care of yourself so you can be there for others thing. If you've ever flown on an airplane, the flight attendants always tell you, you put your oxygen mask on first. And it's not to say you're selfish, you don't care about the children that's traveling with you, but it's to say, if you're not here, if you're not taking care of yourself, if your needs are not being met, your basic needs, then how is this child going to survive and be okay without you? So you always come first. I know that's grammatically incorrect, but you know what I mean. But then you take a look at the circles that are radiating out from me. And I've kind of termed it here, and you can take it, you can take it however you want it, whatever is really going to work for you. But I use VIP, very important people. Those are the people that are closest to you. Those are the ones that you really have a higher level of responsibility for. Those are the ones that are going to get your first level of attention. And what I would like for you to do is start writing down a few people in that. If you've ever been to the VIP section, you know it's not huge. It's not everyone come in. It's very limited. People have to have certain qualifications to get in there, and only the select are invited. And I want you to be very selective in who you invite into your VIP section. Maybe they're your children, perhaps your spouse, your significant other, maybe it's your BFF, but we want to make sure we're not inviting the whole world into VIP, because then it's not very important anymore. It's just everybody. So the next level out is general admission. Those are those that, you know, they have a high level of regard or a place in your life, but they're not as close as VIP. Perhaps they're extended family members. Perhaps those are activities or organizations you're a part of that still need some of your attention, but they don't warrant the same level as the VIP or even of yourself. So you're making sure you're outlining the responsibility and the roles that you have in the lives of others. And then you have overflow. Now, the people on overflow, they're not that close to you as far as what you're responsible for, but they still want to get a little piece of you. Maybe they still hear the music playing, or maybe they're still hearing the sermon, but they're not right up next to you. So they're still getting some access to you, but they don't have that unlimited access that the VIP will have, and they don't have as much access as general admission. So just take a few minutes, at the end of this webinar and fill in those spaces, making sure that you're not trying to jam-pack VIP, because then it overflows you and you're taking on other people's responsibilities once again. So we go next to the S for self-affirmations. How many of you know that words have power? Words are a very powerful thing. They motivate us or they tear us down. And it's so important to be mindful of what you are saying, what messages you are giving yourself, and the people that you have allowed to speak into your life and what words they are using for you. What we want to do is identify some very strong, very positive words that you can say about yourself, and making sure we are regulating the negative stuff to the background. You want to tell the negative committee that meets inside your head to sit down and shut up. They have a voice because that's just human nature. You know, maybe you're saying you're not doing it good enough. Maybe you're saying that somebody else is better than you. Maybe you're saying that, oh, that outfit looks really ugly and I don't feel very positive about my appearance. But you need to tell that negative committee to take a back seat because we want to replace it with a positive. Now, I know it's so hard to stop something that's been an automatic thing for years. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to turn it off. But what we want to do as much as possible is to replace it and put something in front of it so that the negative voices, the negative self-talk, the put downs become less influential in how we feel about ourselves and about our day to day. Pull in case of emergency. Typically, you know you're not going to be able to think of something positive in the moment. So it's important to really be able to have something already outlined, some positive self-affirmations that you can turn to when you need to. So here's a cute little slide that for each of the tags, I would love for you to be able to just write a positive self-statement. And this could be a running list of things that you can just have on hand when you're feeling blue, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling overwhelmed. You can go back to your list and tell yourself one of these statements. You don't even have to think of an original one because you may not be able to come up with one if you're already in that mood. But if you have it already outlined, listed here, you could pull it in case of emergency and really be able to use the positive influence that the words are going to have in your life. In addition, you can go to your daily to-do list, and for each day, write a positive self-talk, a positive self-affirmation, so that you are saying the words I say to myself on a daily basis are really important. It's not just my to-do list that I need to focus on, but really what I'm saying to myself and how I'm treating myself. All right? So, last but not least, we are going to go to the H, help, resources, and support. A lot of times people have difficulty asking for help, and that's for different reasons. And a lot of those reasons are based on fear. Perhaps there's a fear that if you ask for help, you'll owe someone something. If you ask for help, you feel like you're giving someone power and control over you. Or maybe they'll just let you down. You ask for help and they're not there for you and you're disappointed. And a lot of times you have people that will say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I use that scripture very regularly to empower myself and to motivate myself to do some things. But what I have to remember, and what I ask you to remember, is it doesn't say you have to do all things and never ask for help. You can do all things, and it's okay to ask for help because there are people that are being placed in your life that can be there to offer you support. What I would like for you to do right now with your notebook is to identify one person, just one, that you can turn to ask a question or to ask for help. Now, I know there are different levels of helping. Some are a lot more personal, some are more professional. Either side of the fence that you want to go on, just one person that you can ask for help. Not everyone has a very close-knit family, someone within the family they can turn to. But perhaps it's someone that you have adopted into your family, not by blood, but by choice. Maybe they're a good friend. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's your pastor. Who can you talk to or turn to for help? And just identify one person. Obviously, if you can have a whole list, that's awesome. But just for now, I want you to be able to know that you do have that one person. Support and resources. And just to give you a framework, I'm looking at this in terms of people, things, environment, and beliefs. You know, we briefly spoke about people. You know, who are you surrounded by as far as the support that you can ask for help? The things that you do, the things that you have around you, also are a source of help. Your coping strategies, the things you do to relax, if you are a bath type of gal or a hot shower type of gal, it's not so much the act or the thing, but more so your perspective and the purpose behind it. If you get in a shower just to get clean, then all you're going to do is get clean. But if you get in a shower to get clean and then take 2 minutes to stand there and relax, you've totally shifted the purpose of that thing. And now it's become a source for you of help and support, of helping you to fight those day-to-day blues. Your environment. Obviously, the environment that we're in does play a role in our mood and how we feel. If your environment is very cluttered and disorganized, that's going to make you feel cluttered and disorganized. If your environment is more orderly, if you have a space that's just identified as your space, your go-to space, you're going to feel that way. But not everyone is able to do that for various reasons. Perhaps you have people in your home that don't really allow you to have a space. Perhaps you can just call your car your space, where you're driving to your next appointment, or you're driving to work, or you're driving home. And when you park, instead of just jumping out the car and racing out, sit there for a minute. Sit there and relax and make your environment your source of support. Have it be a resource for you to help you fight those day-to-day blues. Last but not least is understanding your beliefs, your values, what's important to you. If you have a very firm understanding of that, that will be a source for you to focus on. That will help you to get through the day-to-day blues because you have something that you're working towards, something that's motivating you, something that's driving you. And that definitely is a core of so many people, is our values and our beliefs. So just to summarize, we are using PUSH to indicate 4 steps to beat the day-to-day blues: priorities and expectations, understanding responsibilities, self-affirmations, and help, resources, and support. Now, I hope that you have been taking notes. I hope that you have been starting the process of identifying those and using those tools that we talked about, because they're so important in empowering yourself, because that's what I'm about. I love to help people. I love to help people both on an individual basis in my practice, when I'm working with people through counseling and therapy, but also to empower groups of women to be motivated to live in their purpose, to really step into that life that would give them that happiness on a day-to-day basis, because you know what it is you're supposed to be doing. So what I've done is I've created a empowerment conference entitled Step 2, Reveal, Empower, Transform. And with this conference, I'm working with you to gain a better understanding of yourself and how yesterday has impacted where you are right now and where you will be tomorrow. This conference will also help you to learn how to make the choices that will create different outcomes, because so often you have the same thing, just a different day. And that will lead to more day-to-day blues. No one wants that. So really understanding how your choices really do make a difference. Third, we're really going to work on identifying your vision and how you can use your vision to have that life of purpose. I've always had the vision of being a helper and a healer, and that has tailored my whole life. It's created the path for me and the career path and what I've chosen to do with my life, strictly based on the vision that's been placed in me. Last but not least, we're going to work on setting realistic and achievable goals. You know, going back to that priority list at the very beginning, if you try to do everything, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you have goals that are realistic and they're achievable, then you're going to get what you want out of life. And every day is going to end satisfied and happy. So in addition to that full day conference, I really firmly believe in having ongoing support, not just from me, but from other women. Because when you are around a group of women that are supporting each other and pulling each other up, anything is possible. So I've created the Action and Accountability Group. And what that is you get membership in exclusive Facebook group where we have the ongoing continued support. And I'm also giving continued support, suggestions, guidance. And we'll also have 4 monthly teleconference meetings where we are discussing your goals that you've set for yourself, holding each other accountable, and giving each other support to make sure you're getting your needs met. And last but not least, you also are able to have a private session, a one-on-one session with me, where we are just, as I said, working one-on-one to outline your barriers and your obstacles and setting those goals for you and helping you to figure out how to best reach them. So with all of that, I would love to have you join me here at this conference. If you'll take a look at your screen, it's broken down into the 3 different sections. Step 2 conference, and then you can also sign up for STEP as well as the Action Accountability Group, Accountability and Action Group. Or you can choose all 3. You can participate in not only the STEP conference, you can also participate in AAA and get that one-on-one session. If you participate in only the Step 2 conference, that's $119. If you choose to participate in STEP and AAA, that's $149. And if you want that VIP treatment, that's STEP, AAA, and the one-on-one session, that's $219. So that is actually what the conference and the services are being advertised for right now. But for those that are on this webinar, I am offering you a 16% off discount, which is the Sweet 16 because it's 2016, and I want this to be a year of change and growth and development to make this your year. 16% off of each of those packages. So with that being said, the Plus, which is just a step, is $99.96. Premium, which is the STEP and the AAA, is $125.16. And VIP is all 3, the STEP, the AAA, and the one-on-one session. That comes down to $183.96. So you'll see the website right there, Erica Reed, LCSWC.wix.com/step to register. I will be so excited to have you. And if you decide to come only to the STEP conference, what I've done is I've also added an additional offer here for you where you and a girlfriend, sister, auntie, female friend, relative, etc., are able to come for the price of $119. So that is actually the regular price for the Step 2 Women's Empowerment Conference. But for the regular price, you and someone else can come. So when you enter the website, the registration information, you'll enter the code 2-for-1. And I'll just go back to the other slide. When you register and you want to take advantage of the Sweet 16, you'll enter the code #Sweet16. The conference is held here at my office at 4425 Forbes Boulevard in Lanham, and it's held on Saturday, February the 27th from 9:30 to 4:30. I would love to have you join me here. I really, really, really want to have you reach that full level of purpose and power. But in order to do that, you have to register soon because registration ends this Friday, the 19th. With that, here's my contact information. I really do hope that you received a great deal of value from this webinar. I am going to turn off the screen sharing and come back on camera, hopefully, so that we can go ahead and see if you guys had anything that you wanted to share, any questions that you may have. Okay. And I'm not sure if this is active or not. So hopefully you are able to access the question box here. As I said, the registration information is Erica Reed, LCSWC, at wix.com/step. And that will allow you to register, but it's really important for you to go ahead and get that in by the 19th, which is this Friday, to be there. So I have a question. When it comes to prioritizing the people, tasks in our lives, how do we help our family, friends, coworkers to understand when we need to put ourselves first and are unable to help them with something at the time without them feeling unimportant or rejected? That is an excellent question, because people are not always going to be so embracing of your new limits and boundaries and your change. They want the same old you, because guess what? They like the same old you because their needs got met. It's going to depend upon the person and how well they're going to receive it. Some of them are just going to flat out not like it. And that's going to come into play when you have to decide who's in your life that's of value and who's not. Hopefully, by explaining to them that they are still important and you will help them with whatever task or activity, but you have to do this first. So you're validating them, their feelings, what they are at, and saying, I appreciate and understand how important this is to you, and I will help you after I've done this. So just to ignore them, a lot of times when people have a hard time saying no, they'll just not respond. They won't answer that text message. They'll push send to voicemail, or they won't answer the door. If you're ignoring their requests, if you're ignoring what they're reaching out and asking of you, that's when they're going to start to catch feelings. So addressing it, validating, it's important to them, therefore it's important to you. And you will manage that after you've done these things to help them to understand they're important, but so are you. Okay, that was a great question. Thank you. Okay, so I know that we had some people that were going to be watching the recording and not so much watching it live. And I know there was another question that I missed. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. And I don't want to keep you too long. All right. So you have set through this webinar, push, understanding the 4 steps to making sure that you are avoiding those day-to-day blues, not getting bogged down by the feelings of being overwhelmed, of sadness, of anxiety, and really pushing instead of trying to fly, taking the cape off and not operating in that superwoman syndrome. So definitely reach out to me. You have my contact information. If you have any other questions, those of you that will be watching this webinar as a recording and not able to participate in the live Q&A, let me know if you have any questions. And I definitely hope to see you all here at the Step 2 Reveal, Empower, Transform conference on next Saturday, February the 26th. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 26th. Keeping in mind that registration will close this coming Friday, the 19th. All righty. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much for joining me. Take care.